Hey everyone, it's me at Kelly and Phoenix on Twitter here on behalf of Team Rise or Fall, as I am each and every week. Today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite picks for the very tightly packed second round of the PGA Tour's postseason, the BMW Championship. Let's get into it. The BMW Championship is being held at Wilmington Country Club. This is a new course for pretty much every player in the field. So event history, course history, that doesn't have a lot of weight for me as I'm looking at my players this week. What is going to hold weight for me is going to be how far are they driving off the tee. So Wilmington Country Club. It's a longer course than we're used to seeing here. It is 7,534 yards, and there are only 3 par 5s. 2 of those are over 630 yards. But guess what? It's still only a par 71. So this is a kind of tough course, a tougher course, but there's not as much water. So when we talk about driving, we do want someone who can hit the long bomb, as we like to say, but do they have to be as accurate? Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to share with you my spreadsheet that I've downloaded from the PGA Study Hub at teamriserfall.com. This is an exclusive member tool, so you're getting a sneak peek. But if you're interested and want to utilize the PGA Study Hub or the Study Hub across all sports, you can go to teamriserfall.com and use code KIP at checkout for $10 off your first month. Now, here we go. So this is a peek at the Team Riser Fall member exclusive PGA Study Hub. And what I've done is I've clicked the download button here at the bottom, and then I have my own spreadsheet. So with this spreadsheet, I was able to remove columns that I don't necessarily want to look at, especially when I'm running through things with all of you. So if we look at the top here, I have highlighted some names in this pretty pinkish purple. Jon Rahm. I really like Jon Rahm. I liked him last week. He came in 5th. He has been playing fairly well for the last 10 events that he's been in. And when we look at strokes gained, he's looking great. And when we look at putting, he's doing pretty good. He's doing okay. I mean, obviously, there are some people who are putting better. Matt Fitzpatrick, Scotty Scheffler, they're doing pretty great. When we go off the tee, we talked about that long bomb. No one hits it much longer than Jon Rahm, except perhaps Rory McIlroy. His driving accuracy has been pretty horrendous as of late. However, his greens and regulation are looking really good, along with his approach stats. They're not terrible. Now, Rahm, he's hitting it hard off the tee. It's very accurate. He's getting greens and regulations far more than anybody else in this field, with the exception of perhaps Scotty Scheffler. And yeah, approach stats for those guys looking pretty good. I like Rahm. I like Scheffler. I like Matt Fitzpatrick, but that's no surprise to you, although that's probably just my heartstrings speaking, as his approach stats are pretty weak this week. So out of these guys, those are the 3 that I'm liking most out of our top known players. I know Tony Finau has been on fire. I can't seem to bring myself to get on that train, but man, should I? Because look at these round 3 and round 4 average scores for Tony Finau: 68.9 round 3, 67.8 round 4. Oh, it's hard not to fall in love with that. Does he get a purple fill-in? Oh, I think so. Oh my gosh. All right, scrolling down, you can see I have a chunk of names here. When we look at pricing this week, it's quite tight. everybody is lumped together within a few $100s on DraftKings, from Morikawa at 9.4, which I think is too much, and all the way down to Pendrith at 7.4, which I think is not enough. I would call that a steal. I'm going to stick with Pendrith again this week. It doesn't scare me at all that he had trouble last week. Let's talk about ownership percentages. I'm not scared by these numbers. I think these are decent ownership numbers. I'm going to work with it. Looking at recent events, all of these guys have been playing fairly well recently. When we scroll down and we look at our strokes gained, again, this is a great group, especially among this top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. Strokes gained, they're gaining mightily. I like that. I like it a lot. Pendrith slipped, of course, because he didn't make the cut last week, but that's okay. We're not worried about it. Putting stats. None of these guys have been doing very well putting, I should say, except Max Homa, maybe. Yeah, nothing to write home about in the putting department. So I'm going to slide right through that to our off the tee stats, where we can see Taylor Pendrith is the long bomber of this particular group that I've isolated at 315.3 yards. Accuracy, not as good as many on this list. His greens in regulation are tops. We talk about approach. All of these guys have a decent approach with the exception of Tyrrell Hatton. He looks like he's struggling. Spieth, somewhat struggling here. And I would say Pendrith, somewhat struggling here. Especially when we're talking about 125 to 150 range. But we also see that same issue with Homa and Tyrrell Hatton. But yeah, that's where we're at. These are the guys I like. These are the guys I'm throwing into my pool. I encourage you to do what I've done and download the spreadsheet from teamriserfall.com. Make your own assessments, dig through the numbers. It's really fun. I enjoy it a lot. So there you have it. It's a pretty wide pool. I didn't give you too many specifics other than this is a long course. There's going to be some high scores. So I want to pick guys who tend to score lower. I want to pick guys who hit longer off the tee. That's about it. I will have an article up for you if you prefer reading with this video embedded. Hope to see you around next week. Until then, fairways and greens, friends. Bye.